Okay, all right. Well, I'm just going to start now since we have a tight schedule. So good morning, everyone, and or afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you so much for joining us today. We welcome you to the first session of the Undergraduate Student Guide to Grad School Virtual Grad Fair, focusing on master's and PhD programs in statistics, data science, and biostatistics. My name is Megan Glenn with the National Statistical Sciences, or NIST. Today, we'll discover the diverse array of opportunities that these advanced degrees can offer. Many of the universities joining us today are from NIST affiliate institutions, and we would like to give a huge thank you to everyone participating in the series and hope that you all may find future graduate students from these events. We'll begin with an in-depth look at some of the top PhD and master's programs from these renowned institutions. They will each present comprehensive overviews of their programs in statistics, data science, and biostatistics, and we hope that you'll gain a better understanding of their degrees. You will also get to explore opportunities each program offers and learn what makes each institution stand out. Okay, so because of time, I will present to you Lily Wang from George Mason University. So Lily, whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining NIST Graduate School Fair. My name is Lily Wang. I'm a professor of statistics and the graduate program director at George Mason University's Department of Statistics. It's a pleasure to be here today to introduce our graduate programs, the opportunities we offer, and some unique features, all the ways we support our students, including funding, and how you can become part of our community. So first, I'll give you a brief overview of our department and George Mason University. To start, I'd like to share some quick facts. First, we have an outstanding faculty with 13 elected fellows and members in prestigious organizations such as American Statistical Association, the Institute of Mathematical Statistics, and the International Statistical Institute, alongside numerous other honors. For example, my colleague, Professor William Rosenberger, has recently been named as the 41st Fisher Memorial Lecturer. Our faculty are actively involved in securing fundings from National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, Department of Defense, and various government agencies, which supports cutting-edge research. We are very proud to have faculty serving as chief editors such as Biometrics and Statistical Seneca and AEs for leading journals. Second, George Mason is classified as R1 Research Institute with very high research activity. It's the youngest in the nation and the largest in Virginia. Our department is in the School of Computing, which ranks very high for research and development funding in areas like computer and information sciences. And currently, our department is ranked 54 in US News. But here's the real cool part. We jumped 29 spots to get here. For a very young department like ours, that's a massive leap forward. And finally, our location in beautiful Virginia offers a fantastic place to study. We are just a short drive from Washington, D.C., providing very easy access to the nation's capital and its opportunities. We are in a thriving tech corridor with easy access to major employers like Amazon and Microsoft, and only 30 minutes trip to Dallas International Airport. And here are some aerial views of our beautiful campus, which offers both natural beauty and modern facilities. Our campus offers a stunning natural setting that goes beyond academics. With beautiful fall foliage and scenic trails, it's the perfect place to relax and recharge. In addition to our scenic campus, there's always something happening at Mason, from cultural festivals, sports events, to academic talks and students gathering. We offer a vibrant campus life that keeps students engaged and connected. Our diverse community ensures there's an event for everyone to enjoy. In addition, our campus features state-of-the-art wellness and recreational facilities to support a healthy and active lifestyle. Full-time students enjoy free access to Mason's fantastic recreation center, including all facilities. With more than 30 dining options across campuses and some open 24 hours, you have the flexibility to eat where you want and what you want. Studying at Mason, you will be close to Washington, D.C., often called the capital of statistics because of all the statistical-related careers here. Our location provides access to exciting internships, summer jobs, and full-time employment opportunities. Our students and graduates find roles with government agencies and contractors in DC and the DMV metro area, as well as leading companies, nonprofit organizations, and major pharmaceutical companies on the East Coast. For example, our university has partnered with Amazon to enhance student opportunities and introduce our educational programs in data center engineering, further expanding our career paths. Our Department of Statistics is part of the School of Computing located in the College of Engineering and Computing. That places us in a high-tech environment that fosters innovation and collaboration. Here is a picture of our fantastic building. We work closely with fields like computer science, information science and technology, bioengineering, SEOR, ECE, data analytic engineering, and many others. Students can take elective courses across departments to gain skills in areas like machine learning, AI, engineering, make their education more comprehensive. And studying our department, you will have the opportunity to work with some of the best professors in the field who are recognized experts in statistics, biostatistics, data analytics, and government statistics. Our professors have a strong national and international reputation, publishing in leading journals, making significant contributions to their research areas. Our faculty maintain close ties with government agencies and local industries, especially in the DC area. For example, my colleague Jonathan Albeck, he is the current president of the Washington Statistical Society. And learning from the experts in the department will place you at the forefront of the field, equipping you to pursue a challenging and rewarding career. Our department research spans a broad spectrum, from foundational statistical methods to cutting-edge emerging fields. In foundational areas, we have a strong expertise in traditional topics such as biostatistics, Bayesian analysis, and statistical foundations for data science. And these research areas listed here are comprehensive and lay the groundwork for tackling a variety of applied and theoretical problems. In addition, our faculty are also pushing the boundaries in new areas, including machine learning, artificial intelligence, and interface between statistics and computer science. We are addressing modern challenges such as statistical privacy, text analysis, and applications in electronic health records. Our graduates are highly sought after across a wide range of industries, government agencies, and educational institutes. They have secured positions as some of the most respected organizations. Our alumni excel in diverse fields from healthcare, finance, to technology and public policy. A remarkable 92% of our graduates choose to stay in the DMV area, attracted by the high quality of life and abundant career opportunities. And moreover, our graduates have also achieved academic success in academia, such as UNC Chapel Hill and Johns Hopkins University. And our alumni are a testament to the strength of our program, and our alumni association offers a lot of opportunities to stay connected, network, and grow your career. Next, I'm going to take a few minutes to walk you through the graduate programs we offer at Mason. Our department provides a range of options for different career paths and interests in statistics, biostatistics, and data science. The PhD in statistical science is designed for those who want to pursue advanced research in statistical theory and methods. For our master's program, especially in statistical science, we offer two options, two concentrations. Modern statistical concentration, statistical data science concentration. And the data science concentration is tailored for students interested in data-driven roles in industry or government. And we also offer MS in biostatistics. This program equips you with the skills needed for careers in public health, biomedical, and pharmaceutical sectors. And the graduate certificate program with a concentration in federal statistics is perfect for professionals seeking to boost their statistical skills or transition to data-focused roles. And at George Mason, we provide a lot of support to help our students succeed. For example, we provide graduate teaching assistantship, graduate research assistantship. We also offer the GMU Presidential Scholarship to outstanding students. And the university also provides many grants, fellowships, such as the dissertation completion grants, high impact grants, doctoral research scholars, and many others. For our PhD program, it combines theory, computation, and data analysis. We welcome applications from students with a strong quantitative background, such as math, statistics, computer science, engineering, with a minimum of 3.5 GPA. For this year's application, the GRE will be waived and will provide financial support for qualified candidates. And to give you an idea of the program structure, here's a sample outline. So you will start with some PhD core courses, and then after you pass the qualifying exam, you will be able to form a dissertation committee and prepare a research topic. And dissertation research is a major component of the PhD. You will conduct original research. For our master's program, applicants should have a basic computer literacy and background in calculus, one sample coursework in matrix or linear algebra. So here are some basic application requirements for our graduate programs. Each program has a specific document requirements, including transcripts, professional goal statement, and recommendation letters. And for international applicants, a transcript evaluation and English proficiency exam also required. And please make sure you note the deadline for our spring application and fall application. Okay, thank you for joining me today. At Mason, the future of statistics is not just a concept. It's a pathway to exciting opportunities in data science and beyond. Whether you want to be a statistician, data scientist, or researcher, we offer the tools and community to support your ambitions. We look forward to the possibility of welcoming you to our campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lily. That was great. So I'd like to open to the audience. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature. It's at the bottom of the Zoom screen. But one question came to mind, Lily. So for those who are writing their letters to apply, what makes, in your mind, what makes for a really strong letter when they apply?
Yeah, a lot of things can play a role in the application. I think the math background for our PhD students is very important. And also the some research experience, if you have anything related, that'd be very, very helpful. And also we value other professional experience if you apply for our master's program. So yeah, it's going to be a combination of several things.
I don't see any questions. So any other piece of advice that you have for students who are applying? Oh, wait. Okay, so there is one. Is there any on-campus housing for couples? Oh, that's actually a good question. What is the minimum stipend for PhD students? And will the spouse of the PhD student be covered for health insurance? That's a very good question. Are these any answers you know of?
A very good question. So Brett Hunter is our associate chair for education. I think he knows the answer. I'm so glad that he's here.
I would have to look up the minimum stipend, but it's in the. So there's once you advance to candidacy, there is a bump, and I don't remember exactly where it is. It's at least, I want to say 28.
Yeah, 28,000 is the least.
Yes. Yeah. And then it bumps up if you advance to candidacy. It's a little bit lower for MS students, but not that much lower. As far as on-campus housing goes, there's Mason has a apartment complex that is run by an outside manager, but it's housing for faculty and grad students. There is a slight market discount for it. That doesn't make it especially cheap because Northern Virginia is an expensive area, but there's a lot of grad students that live in that area, and they're relatively large apartments that are literally on campus. I lived there for 4 years and would walk to my office every day, and it was great. There's a couple of limitations. There is a priority list, so you do have to apply early to get that housing. And there is a term limit for how long you can stay there. I believe when I left, it was 6 years, but that changed while I was there. So I don't know what it is at this point. As far as the health insurance for spouses, that I do not know the answer to. I can look that one up at some point. So if you email us at stat@gmu.edu with that question, I will make sure to find out for you.
All right, that'd be great. Now, also, can either of you talk about the funding for international students and PhD statistics?
We do offer funding to international students. I believe funding in general is going to be competitive. We do have a limited amount we can give out, but we're especially interested in giving it to strong PhD candidates. I believe most, if not all, of our international students are funded in some way. You do have to go through the visa options. You would have to, we have an office of international, I know what it's OIPS. I don't remember what they all stand for. That would work with you on being eligible for working in the US. For international students, you would have to take because most of the funding would be as a TA. If you are a TA, you would have to take a English presentation skills exam with an outside office to make sure that you can work with our undergraduate students. But it is available to all international students.
Right, great. Now, I think there is one question in the Q&A, but I'd prefer that to be a text answer if that's okay.
I can type
All
that
right, great. Okay, so next our school is going to be the University of Pennsylvania and their biostatistics department. And our presenter is going to be Jarcy Z. So take it away, Jarcy.
Great, thank you, Megan. As Megan said, my name is Jarcy Z. I'm an assistant professor of biostatistics in the division of biostatistics at Penn. So just to tell you who I am and how I got here. So I did my undergrad at the University of Delaware. I grew up in Delaware. I was a math and economics major, mostly because I didn't know how to choose a major. I was a first-gen college graduate. And so after graduation, I actually went to be a research assistant at the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia. And that's where I learned I am not interested in economics, but luckily got to take some statistics classes and applied to statistics and biostatistics grad school. I actually went to Penn for my master's and PhD in biostatistics, doing statistical methods research and applied work in mental health and women's health. So I can tell you about both being a student in the program and faculty. I worked at Arbor Research Collaborative for Health, which is a nonprofit health research organization in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for 6 years doing kidney research, and then returned to Penn as faculty in 2020, as well as with a secondary appointment at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where I collaborate with pediatrics researchers. Still doing kidney disease research, as well as methods in survival, observational, and machine learning methods. Okay, so I'm here to tell you why you should come to Penn. You all probably know Penn has one of the top medical schools. Our biostatistics division is in a department within the medical school. We don't have a school of public health. I'll tell you a little bit more about, the implications of that in a little bit. You all probably know Penn is prominent Ivy League university, has a lot of history, been very prestigious for very long, which often means that there are lots of connections and networks, as well as resources that we can lean on. Penn is located in the city of Philadelphia, which is conveniently located 6-hour drive from Boston, less than 2 hours to New York City, 2.5 hours to DC. We have a lot of diversity and historic heritage. Philly is the 5th largest US metro area, but given that it's one of the biggest cities, it actually has a very, very reasonable cost of living. I think it's a at least in my opinion, it doesn't feel too big and busy. Philly is also home to many industries of particular interest for those in biostatistics, a lot of pharmaceutical and biotech companies. We also have great libraries, museums, concerts, and my favorite restaurants, both right on campus as well as throughout the city. So it's a great place to live. So the Perelman School of Medicine has the basic science departments on the left, and our department, biostatistics, epidemiology, and informatics, is considered one of these basic science departments. We also have a long list of centers and institutes, some of which are affiliated with our department. And then, of course, we have our clinical departments listed on the right. So what's really nice about this setup is that we are very closely connected to all of these centers and institutes and clinical departments, as well as, the other basic science departments. Oh, sorry. Which means that collaboration with others in these areas is really easy. This is our leadership within our department of biostatistics, epidemiology, and informatics. Enrique Schusterman's our chair. We also have a team of vice chairs. And then each of our divisions, biostat, informatics, and epidemiology, have a division director. Ours is Jeff Morris. I mentioned a bunch of centers and institutes throughout the School of Medicine. Here I've listed on the left centers and on the right conferences that either our department faculty have founded or are affiliated with or often participate in. So that's the setup of the school and the department. Biomedical graduate studies is the graduate school of the School of Medicine. So of course we have the medical school for the med students, and we have a residency program, a fellowship program. The graduate school, or biomedical graduate studies, or BGS, is where master's and PhD students get their degrees. We have about 750 students across 13 programs in these 7 graduate groups. And about 650 faculty in schools, not only within the School of Medicine, but across the university, participate in the biomedical graduate studies programs. So our graduate group in epidemiology and biostatistics, or the GGEB, is here. And we have both a master's and PhD biostatistics program and a PhD epidemiology program. This is our GGEB leadership. Takichi Nohara is our GGEB chair, our graduate group chair, and then we have a biostatistics program chair and epidemiology program chair, Mingyao Li and Adam Nai. Okay, so why should you all come to GGEB? First of all, I think some of these things that really set us apart. We have a high faculty to student ratio. We have only a couple dozen students who are enrolled each year in both the master's and PhD programs combined, but we have over 90 faculty, and so this means that students get a lot of support. Most, if not all, of our faculty are really committed to teaching and mentoring students. But we all also do cutting edge research in a lot of different areas. Having such a big faculty working in different fields means whatever your interests are, you're probably going to be able to find someone who does something similar. Something really unique about our program that I haven't really seen in others is our lab rotations. So our PhD students rotate through labs in their first few semesters. They basically work, it's considered one of the courses, part of the curriculum, but essentially they're working with a faculty member in their lab. These are all dry labs. We don't have wet labs, but working in their labs on a specific research project. So they really get to get familiar with research right away, that first fall semester when they start, getting to know faculty, other students and staff, research staff members in the lab, as well as learning about a specific topic. And this can be a really good way for students to figure out what they're interested in to ultimately choose a dissertation research topic. There's lots of teaching opportunities for our students. All of our PhD students are required to be teaching assistants 2 times. There's opportunities for more than that. There's also a Center for Teaching and Learning. We've had students who have done teaching fellowships, who are very interested in teaching careers, so they can participate in and actually lead teaching workshops and develop their teaching skills. All of our PhD students are fully funded. We cover tuition and fees. All the PhD students also get a stipend. Right now, it's $41,500 a year. It has been slowly going up, at least the last few years. We have health and dental insurance. For the student who was asking about dependents, my understanding is that we will cover health and dental insurance for the student, but dependents, including spouses and children, can enroll in the insurance program. I think that the student just has to cover the additional cost of the dependents only. We still cover the student. We also offer relocation and travel support. Everyone gets a laptop, and there's more additional funding available at times. Our master's students are not funded by default. However, there are almost always faculty who have funding available for research assistantship. So a lot of our master's students are able to get RA-ships and get funding for their program. And finally, I think GGEB just has a really supportive and collegial community. That's honestly one of the big reasons why I chose Penn for graduate school, and a lot of the reason why I came back as faculty, because of the people. Super supportive, really good mentorship. So this is kind of a timeline for the program. The master's program is typically in the first 2 years, if full time. The master's thesis is done during the second year. PhD students have the option of also completing the MS thesis and getting an MS degree. Whether or not they do the thesis, they are required to do an applied research project that is equivalent to the thesis. Typically, PhD courses are done in the first 5 or so semesters, along with the lab rotations. Qualifying exam is at the end of the first year, candidacy exam 18 months later, and then after that is PhD thesis work. Besides courses, research opportunities, teaching opportunities, there are also opportunities for leadership for students. We have a lot of committees and other groups that students can participate in and have leadership roles in. Just to give a brief overview of the application cycle. So our applications are currently open. They open October 1st and the deadline is December 1st. That is a hard deadline. We do not accept rolling applications. After that, we make quick decisions by December 20th, where selected applicants will receive invitations to interview. And then we hold in-person interviews on February 7th. Overseas applicants are not expected to come in person, but can interview virtually either before or on February 7th. And then the final acceptance or rejection letters are sent out the week of February 24th. And then, of course, applicant decisions are due on April 15th. So these are our admission requirements. We do require that students have a year of calculus, including multivariable calculus, a semester of linear algebra, and some working knowledge of a programming language. It's recommended that students come with experience with data analysis and specifically statistical software packages, but not required. And any additional advanced courses in mathematics will, of course, be helpful. A complete application is pretty standard. We have a 500-word personal statement, 1,000-word research statement required, a CV, unofficial transcripts, 3 to 5 letters of recommendation, and the TOEFL for non-native English speakers. This is a complete application, and so you'll notice we do not require GRE, so don't send those in. And we do not have an application fee. So hopefully that means a relatively low barrier to applying. A little bit about our students, the applicants and the students who come. Most have academic backgrounds in mathematics, statistics, or engineering, including computer science. A few have come from physics and economics backgrounds, and then occasionally we might get students who have backgrounds in biology, chemistry, or psychology. Again, though, they still need to have those math courses, those required math courses for admissions. We get almost 400 applications a year for both our PhD and MS program. And the average GPA for admitted students is typically a 3.8. It is not a hard cutoff by any means, but it just gives you an idea of what our admitted student profiles tend to look like. Given the number of applications and the relatively small number of students, our admissions rate ends up being about 8% for the PhD program and 14% for the MS program. Okay, and finally, yeah, this is my last slide. I hope I, gave you a good overview with information about our program and, all the reasons why our program is great. But maybe most importantly, I think that our students have really enjoyed the program. We asked them, to talk about student life, and they talked about how they really liked the opportunities to travel and attend conferences and present at conferences. They've been able to take up new hobbies or do their existing hobbies and other activities, both on and off campus. And they really like living in Philadelphia. So in the end, I just wanted to emphasize that we do value work-life balance. We have a very rigorous program, but we do want students to enjoy their time here, and I think generally our students are very happy. Finally, just wanted to provide our website and some additional emails and contact information if you have additional questions. Otherwise, I can take any quick questions. Either I don't know if we have time, Megan.
Yeah, we have
Live,
time.
or I can. Okay.
We have time for maybe at least one question live. Oh wait, is there already? Yes. Okay, so how much different is the curriculum of the biostatistics PhD program from the statistics PhD program at Penn? Is this something you know?
Yeah, it's a great question. I obviously don't know as much about the statistics curriculum, but they're completely different programs in completely different schools. So the statistics department is within the Wharton School of Business. Um, a couple of differences come to mind right away. One is we don't teach measure theory probability. The statistics department does. Another is because we are a biostatistics department and we are, emphasizing methods for biomedical applications. There are certain courses that are standard in biostatistics that are not going to be in statistics. These would include courses related to, for example, study design, um, as well as survival analysis. These are less common in statistics programs generally, I think. So there are definitely differences, across the two programs. I would say they're pretty different, but I think you'll have to check out the website to get more details.
Okay, great. And then there is also another question, but that was answered already. Yes, PhD students are allowed to master out of the program.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Darcy.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on to the next presenter now. Okay. So next we have the Johns Hopkins University and Department of Biostatistics. And our presenter is Margaret Taub. So take it away, Margaret. And Margaret, please make sure you're not muted.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate in this. And thanks to my colleagues who presented already and given some great background to our field overall and some really excellent programs. So I'm here today representing the Johns Hopkins Department of Biostatistics. My name is Margaret Taub. I'm a faculty member in the Biostatistics Department, and I am the director of our master's programs. I'm just going to talk a little bit about our department and some reasons why you might want to think about applying to join us. All right, so this is sort of like the big picture overview of why you might be interested in studying biostatistics at Hopkins. We really work on really fascinating scientific problems. We have a strong emphasis on life satisfaction, so both professionally and personally, with thinking about work-life balance and finding interests outside of work. We do provide our students with great job prospects. We have a lot of success. I'll talk in a little bit later about some of the paths that our graduates have taken. We have what we call a craftsman toolkit, which is this idea of really high quality tools that can be used in a wide variety of different settings. We really have an apprenticeship model where we try to take every student and foster their own individual growth to help develop them into scientific leaders. We have a strong community in our department where we have lots of intradepartmental collaborations, also within the broader community of the School of Public Health where we live. We're really a launch pad for students to go on to do amazing things after they finish their time with us. So just to give a little bit of an overview of what biostatistics is for students who may be more familiar with statistics undergraduate degree programs. So this is basically learning from any sort of biomedical data where variability and uncertainty are involved. And so that's really basically all data in biology, public health, and medicine. And so that's really what we focus on in biostatistics. So it's statistical methods applied to problems that involve biomedical data of some kind. So some of the examples of the types of problems that we work on in biostatistics are to do with cancer, finding genes that underlie breast cancer, understanding the benefits of folate during pregnancy, looking at epigenetics, understanding how policies and programs could help reduce violence, looking at identifying spatial hotspots of opioid overdoses to help with prevention, looking at prediction around which COVID-19 patients progress to very poor outcomes, and descriptive statistics around a complex trait like insomnia to say, what does this look like from a biological point of view? So you can see all kinds of different underlying statistical approaches behind these motivating questions that really drive the type of research that we do. So we really have an attitude of growth in our department. We work on these really fascinating problems, but we also really want to have an environment where we have a feeling of perpetual learning, where we have the support and encouragement of great colleagues, where we're really working to advance scientific knowledge and hopefully make a difference in the world. So I guess, Darcy, I didn't include a story about my own path, but similarly, I was a math major as an undergrad. I spent some time doing math research over the summer, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not what I want to do with my life. Not to say there's anything wrong. I think life is all about finding the thing that works for you. There's no one better path or right path for everyone. But for me, it was really getting to a place where I could work on things that felt inspiring and challenging and useful in a way to me. I mean, and again, different people are going to make different choices, but that's why I really love working on the types of problems that I work on in research. So, of course, it doesn't hurt that we have lots of job prospects that come out of working or getting a degree in our department. Our graduates go on to work in academia, government, and industry with, starting salary ranges in the low 100,000s for PhD students and wide range for master's students as well. We know these are still areas of growth in terms of data scientist, statistician, career paths. So we're really helping prepare people for financially rewarding jobs in fast-growing fields. To talk some specifics around where graduates from the last 10 years from our program have gone. First of all, many of them have won awards during their time with us to go to conferences and from various statistical organizations. But yeah, we have graduates who have gone on to work at many leading universities and many different jobs in industry and in the government, NIH, FDA, so all kinds of different places that our graduates have gone on to work, both staying on the research side of things, going into more education-focused jobs, and working sort of in industry jobs where they're leading with data analysis skills and statistical approaches. So our department itself is a kind of a nice medium size. It's not tiny, but it's not huge. We have about a total of 45 or so faculty between the tenure track and the non-tenure track faculty. At the moment, we have around 47 PhD students, 35 SCM, so that's our master's program. These 6 MHS students are mostly joint MHS students or PhD students from other programs that get an MHS with us while they're part of the school. And then we have around 14 postdocs right now. So this really creates a vibrant community where we have mentoring across different sort of tracks of students. Our PhD students are working with our postdocs. Our SCM students are working with our PhD students. These MHS students from outside of the department provide their own expertise in epi or mental health, those kinds of things. So we really have this collegial environment where we're all supporting each other's growth. For the history of our department, we were the first academic department of biostats in the world. And currently, or this was last year's US News, we were the top rated, although we all know that there's some grains of salt to take with those US News rankings. But we are, one of the leading departments in the country and, really try to continue to fill that role and to meet those accolades with actual work and producing things. So our 2 degree programs that would be of interest to students today are the PhD and the SCM degree programs. And really both of them provide a rigorous education in biostats and data science, including statistical theory, a data science curriculum, looking at the health science interface, and really sort of emphasizing the impact that we can have as statistical scientists in working in health. I mentioned we have this apprenticeship model where we really foster mentoring between faculty and students, both in research and in education. It's an opportunity. All of our PhD students TA, our master students also TA in their second year. So we really do emphasize communication around statistical concepts and education as one of the skills that we want our graduates to have mastered while they're with us. We are a very community organized department where we have many working groups, multiple faculty who work together on similar problems. We'll meet regularly with trainees to discuss current work, provide feedback to each other. And we also have a vibrant whole group community where we have twice a year faculty student fora where we have a lunch together and we share topics of interest to the whole department. We just got back last weekend from our retreat that we had in Philadelphia, actually. So we do things together as a department to sort of foster connections as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about the SCM program now. Again, I'm the director of that program, so maybe I emphasize that a little bit more here. But our master's degree is a 2-year program for people who want to pursue a career as a professional biostatistician. We do also have this concurrent MHS degree for students enrolled in Hopkins already in a PhD program. And we also have a standalone MHS for students with prior professional or medical training, but that's not very often that we have students in that program. So our SCM really, again, is a rigorous program. Similar to some of the other programs, we expect a background in mathematics where students have taken calculus and at least one semester of linear algebra. And that's really required preparation to succeed in our probability theory and inference track and our methods track, which is the first year of the curriculum. We also offer data science courses with statistical computing and other data science best practices that are taught. We provide support for learning about statistical consulting. It's a required course in the second year of our master's program. And we really focus on basics of public health research. You take an epidemiology course to get that sort of foundational treatment of what we're doing really in public health. We do have a qualifying exam at the end of the first year. And in our master's program, the apprenticeship model is really starting after that qualifying exam. You'll begin working one-on-one with a faculty in the department on your thesis project. So again, we have a master's thesis that is meant to be a publishable piece of work by the end of your second year. And again, you can work with anyone who has a primary or a joint appointment in our department for this thesis work. In terms of post-SCM opportunities, we actually have a large fraction, I'd say a third to a half of our students go on to PhD programs in statistics or biostatistics after they complete their SCM with us. So these are some of the places where they've ended up after finishing at our program. And in terms of job opportunities, we've had people who've gone on to academic medical institutions, stayed with us at Hopkins, gone up to Boston at Brigham and Women's, other places like that. Again, people who've gone to work in government at the NIH or Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and biotech companies. I listed more of these on that previous slide, but basically lots of different opportunities for our SCM students. In terms of sort of the collegial environment in our department, we have a structure of working groups where we have multiple faculty who work in similar areas, organize sessions to include research in progress presentations, journal clubs, invited speakers on particular topics, and just general working discussions. And these are some of the areas that we have these types of events in. So Bayesian, genomics, genomic data science, survival, longitudinal and multivariate data. We have a new group looking at statistical practice and research collaboration. This is sort of our consulting center has organized that. So there's really just a wide variety of different working groups. And this is a great way for our students to get exposed to different areas as they're trying to figure out what they might want to work on for that thesis project. And similar for our PhD students, it's a way to get to know faculty before committing to work with them for your PhD thesis as well. It's a great way to get to know other students. We have a couple of student-run organizations, our Journal and Computing Club, and our Biostatistics Student Organization. Both exist as a way to help students organize time together where they can interact with one another, share knowledge about important topics like computing, and also organize events to create an environment of connection and support in the department. As part of the School of Public Health and Johns Hopkins more broadly, we first have our own Biostatistics Consulting Center, which is one of the leading supports for researchers outside of our department to support biostat and information sciences. So we work with researchers from all levels on their research projects to support them. We have the Bloomberg and American Health Initiative, which is a school-wide program to help improve health and save lives in a few different specific focus areas. So there's collaboration opportunities and support resources available there. There's a new data science and AI institute that is university-wide to expand our capacity for improvements in methods in AI. And so there are many more opportunities. This is just a couple of examples. So now I'm going to end with a top 10 reasons why you want to get a degree from Hopkins Biostats. So first, or number 10, I guess, is the great science that we have. Again, we have fostered fundamental developments in many important areas of statistical science. And have worked on applications to all kinds of really important areas of scientific work. We have award-winning students and faculty. So our faculty and students have won many prestigious awards and are also recognized for their teaching excellence. And we have a strong faculty to student ratio. Again, given our size, we have one-on-one mentoring for our students by our faculty members. And really, we really like our students to all be involved with creating the life of the department. We were working on critical issues in statistics, biomedicine, and public health. So we really are striving to work on problems that are important and not just applications of our statistical tools, but really working closely with our collaborators to solve scientific problems. We're a really diverse community. We have department members who come from all over the world. You can see a little map here with our push pins and a few of the places that our department members hail from. And we really value that diversity to enhance our environment and our learning. We do have funding for our PhD students with 5 years of support. This was a recent development from unionization of our PhD students. So we have a $50,000 stipend and tuition fees, medical benefits are provided, including health insurance for PhD students, children, and spouses, depending on visa type for international students. And this is guaranteed for at least the first 4 years of the PhD program. For master's students, we also provide, there's some scholarships available, and RA positions for master's students are generally not hard to find, especially in the second year. We do a lot of things together to celebrate and spend time just outside of the rigor of scientific work. We have weekly seminars and tea time and happy hours and other things like that, just to have the opportunity to get to know one another, since that's really where a lot of the creative thought happens in those casual conversations. We love living in Baltimore, most of the people in the department. It's really a beautiful city. It's a medium-sized city. There's still a lot to do here. Crazy art festivals, there's sports events, there's great food. It's really a nice climate. I think, the students find nice places to live close to campus. Overall, I think people really do like living here. I know I do. We do offer resources for computing, office space. We're connected to other parts of Maryland, DC, and the world. We have great staff to support all the work that we do. We have active students who like to exercise together. We had a ping pong tournament. We participated in the school Olympics. There was a soccer team last year. So we really do try to emphasize work, badminton, outside of the work of the department as well. We're really a collegial, creative, supportive, and fun community. You can see lots of gatherings here of students in and outside of the department. And we really believe in the motto of our school, which is saving millions at a time. Again, really wanting to work on those problems that are going to have a big impact on science. So that's just in a summary. We really think that we provide a great environment to attack the most fascinating statistical scientific problems. We provide this apprenticeship model and really have a community where we support our students' growth and development, and hopefully on to success in the future. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise happy to take questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Margaret. Yeah, I don't see any questions at the moment, but feel free to drop those in the Q&A, or chat, whichever is easier. But I was thinking in terms of what you were saying about that you did mathematics and you said that it wasn't your thing. So for all of these different varieties we have to study, I like the fact that you tied it to where your students go off to in the future. So I thought that was really helpful to know. And I mean, so originally there was a question, not necessarily for you, but there was a question out there saying, is it helpful to sort of follow the faculty members that you want to be taught by and before you apply? Like, is it helpful to reach out to them first? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yes, that's helpful. I think also, yeah, certainly exploring if you're going to be going somewhere for a PhD, and you have some idea of what you might want to work on, it's a good idea to try to pick a place where there are people working on that thing that you think you want to work on. We have asked our applicants this year to list 3 faculty who are people they might be interested in working with. And this is partially to ensure that we have a good matchup of interests of our students with interests of our faculty, because we really do want to have that apprenticeship model where our students are able to work on the things they want to work on, but hopefully also with the mentorship and guidance of one of our faculty members who is also interested in that problem. So I think that it is important to feel like you are choosing a place. It's going to be a place you're going to spend several years, and you're going to want to be working on problems that inspire you and give you energy. It's hard work. And if you're not interested in what you're doing, then it's not going to be, it's not going to feel worth it. So you really do want to make sure that you have the opportunity to work on things that you care about.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay, so I will move on to our next presenter, who is Katie Thompson from the University of Kentucky Department of Statistics. And Katie, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Hello, it's so great to be here. I'm here representing UK's Department of Statistics. I am our previous DGS, and Derek Young is also here. He got here, I think, moments after he finished teaching to answer questions. So we're in good shape. So let's see. I want to just start with a little bit. This is all pretty high level. So I want to start with a little bit about who are our graduate students. So there's a photo of them there. This is from what has become an annual tradition of bowling with our first year students. We typically have 40 to 50 students in our MS/PhD program, which is really a combined program in the way that we run it. Undergraduate majors include stats, math, engineering, economics, psychology, computer science. We've had master's degrees in plant and soil sciences, so really a big variety of backgrounds. Students find statistics in all sorts of ways. Similar to some of the other speakers, I was actually a double degree in math and biology and quickly discovered that I did not belong in a lab where I broke lots of things. And so sort of find our way to statistics in all of these different ways. We have a mixture of students who come in from bachelor's and master's programs as well. And so there's just a lot of community, a lot of camaraderie among them. All right, so if you look at the big picture of our department, we have our MS/PhD programs in statistics. That's the one from the previous slide. It's in person. All of the students in that program are fully funded. We do not distinguish among master's and PhD students when they apply. And in fact, for paperwork reasons, we encourage you to apply to the master's and indicate interest in a PhD in your personal statement for that combined program. The program requirements are multivariable calculus and then a course in linear algebra. If you're not sure if you have those courses, please reach out to Derek or myself, and we'll absolutely take a look at syllabi and help make sure that you're prepared for a program like this. Our Master of Applied Statistics is completely online. It requires a little bit less calculus, but there's no departmental funding available, so that is available. And then we also have a graduate certificate that's completely online and asynchronous. So the online programs really are targeted to people who have full-time jobs. I'm going to focus mostly today on the in-class programs, MS/PhD program in statistics. This photo is from our Welcome Week Department Day. So this is a group of our graduate students right as we are coming back for fall semester. All right, so I get this question a lot talking to prospective students. What makes UK different? So our program is newly revised. We just modernized our curriculum to build in both predictive modeling, machine learning coursework, as well as to formalize training in collaborative statistics and theoretical statistics. We have an entity called the Predictive Analytics and Data Science Hub. That's the group meeting that's happening in the photo. We have about 13 graduate students right now working in the hub, as well as faculty and staff. And they work with projects from investigators across campus. So we have partnerships with over 20 colleges and departments, as well as some outside companies. Every MS and PhD student admitted receives full funding. And so that's another thing that I found can distinguish us from other programs. In the first year of MS PhD programs, everyone takes pretty much the same courses to get all of our different majors and all of our different backgrounds prepped to the same level. And then from there, there's lots of opportunities to choose courses that you want and target your program to what you want to do. Every student can choose to work on real data science or data analytic projects is through our PADS hub. We had a couple summers ago, for instance, we had a big partnership with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We had 15 students fitting machine learning models to try to predict people in Kentucky who would be at risk of an opioid overdose in the future. The students had a phenomenal time and it turned out to be a great learning experience in terms of data science, computing, and applications. That actually top left photo is some of the students working on their models in our conference room. The top right photo is our students on an intramural basketball team. So that year, unfortunately, we did not make the playoffs, but they had fun. Every single admitted student receives either a teaching or a research assistantship, which is 20 hours of work per week on average. The stipend level this year for 9 months is almost $25,000. So for students who are working the summer as well, that goes up to somewhere between $30,000 and $33,000 for the year. I do always tell students who are looking at different cities, there is a cost of living calculator online that can help you compare the stipend dollar amount across different cities where you're considering living, because it can vary quite a bit city to city. We also, every single student gets a full tuition scholarship, which includes non-resident tuition or out-of-state tuition. Student health insurance for spouses and dependents is similar to, I believe, what UPenn was talking about, where we still cover the student portion of health insurance, or UK does, and then you could add on a spouse or a dependent for a fee. All of our student health fee and our recreation center fees are covered. The only fee that I know of our graduate students paying in the last few years is for international students. There's an international student fee that we're not able, for reasons that I don't quite understand, we're not able to cover, but it's a small fee. We're happy to give you that amount if you're interested. We have lots of summer funding opportunities. So in our assistantship offers, there are fall and spring built in, and then summer, students actually choose. We have lots of students who are interested in getting an internship and getting some experience in a company somewhere. We also have teaching and research assistantship offers on campus. All of our students 1st through 5th year, the past several years, have received summer funding if they requested it from us. And so we have no shortage of opportunities for teaching and data analysis experience. All right, so then we sort of go from the beginning to the end. Recent positions for our Master of Science degree. We've had students recently go to NASA, which I think is super cool. We've got a data scientist at Red Hat, which is a Linux operating system. Statistical analyst at MedPace, which is actually headquartered in Cincinnati, but a company of over 5,000 people, a clinical research organization. We've got biostatisticians, for instance, at Medical University of South Carolina, and then also lots of students in clinical research organizations like StatKing Clinical Services. This picture is of our students. They have started doing an annual networking trip as part of their Statistics Graduate Student Association activities. And so we book hotel rooms, we book cars, and it's an hour and 15-minute drive. The students go up and usually meet with people at 2 different companies, have a networking dinner, and then come back the next day. We've had lots of students go to the companies that they visit. And so this sort of connection and pipeline has definitely been working well. So there's some students in Cincinnati after dinner. On the doctoral degree side, we do have a mix of students going into academics and industry. So in academics, we've got assistant professors. These are just a couple examples at UNC Asheville, Virginia Commonwealth University, We've got data scientists at the Neurology Artificial Intelligence program at the Mayo Clinic, senior scientist at Merck, which is a pharmaceutical company, vice president and data scientist at JP Morgan, a bank, and then a master specialist at Deloitte Consulting, which I asked this alum, what does that mean? And she said, it's a different job title, but she's in charge of about 50 people who do data science at Deloitte. And so that is their team lead track for data science. So requirements for our MS PhD programs, like we talked about, multivariable calculus, which is usually 3 semesters, but some schools do have that in 2 semesters, and linear algebra. For applicants whose primary language is not English, a language test score, and there's a variety of options for that. Derek and I can give you more information if you have particular questions. We do not require a general GRE. We do not require the subject GRE. You can upload scores if you'd like, but it's optional. The photo here is actually May 2024 graduation. This is all of our graduating students who walked their commencement and all of their families. So if you want to learn more, Derek is on the call now. His email address is up there. You're also welcome to email me. This is actually our current 3rd year cohort on their first day of school a couple of years ago. You're also welcome to check out our website. That's the QR code on the left, or to follow us on Instagram, UKY Statistics, and there's a QR code on the right. I will come back to this page while we're asking questions, but I wanted to put one more plug in. So one of the things that UK has started doing is running an NSF-funded conference within a conference every year. This year, actually, there's a typo. 2025 is going to be in Jekyll Island, Georgia for 3 days in June. And we have funding to bring undergraduate students from US universities who are interested in going to statistics but don't really know what's next to that conference. So please follow circus.org if you're interested. We would love to see your application and have you join us there. Talk to graduate students, talk to faculty from across the Southeast. So I know we're short. Derek, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I mean, you did a great job covering everything. And just like I was hoping that you would talk a little bit about PADS Hub, our predictive analytics data science hub, which Katie is now the lead of. So, I mean, I think that's a really great thing that we get to highlight whenever we talk about our graduate program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll also, there are a couple of questions that have come up throughout. We do have an artificial intelligence machine learning hub at UK as well. And we've got a really strong statistical presence with 4 faculty members there. And there's graduate student opportunities for research within that entity. And then our application cycle is also rolling. So for full consideration, applications should be in by February 1st, but it is a rolling cycle. So there's not a hard deadline other than the graduate school deadline, which I believe is in July.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Is there any questions that came up? Yes, there is. So how many letters of recommendations are required, and what is the average GPA for applicants for the MS PhD program?
Yeah, so so I take it as directed for us. So we have 3 letters of recommendation that we request. And then the average GPA, I don't know, do we actually, Katie, do you have a number for that from the previous years?
So I don't. We find that,
Yeah.
that GPA varies pretty significantly across all of the universities that our applicants from all over the world are applying from. So we don't have a hard number. And I actually have never calculated it after a cycle, to be honest. So I'm not sure. We're looking for students that we are confident will be successful in our program. So that's going to be strong math course performance, whatever that may mean at your university, as well as strong letters of recommendation from faculty. And then strong communication skills is the other thing we're looking for.
That's great. Now, as you said that, I'm just wondering, so for people who don't possess a strong math background, or at least like haven't taken, like for instance, if it's a student that's not coming from a statistics degree or bachelor's, do you have any recommendations of what steps they can take before they apply?
Yeah, I'd say always do just as much math as you can do before you apply. Remember that even though I did an undergraduate in math, that was the recommendation of my probability professor. She's just like, do as much math as you can before going for a stats PhD. And I'd say that obviously, if you don't have those prereq courses met, then that's the thing that you need to focus on and just really understand the material in those and do as best as you can in there. And with the rest of the preparation, if you have enough time when between the time you're starting to think about this, when you're going to be applying, try to get connected somehow with any sort of research that you might be able to do, any sort of undergraduate research program. So I think all those types of things really just help to show that, you know, you're serious about wanting to go on to grad school, and really it'll also kind of give you a sense about, oh, this is something that I really like and I do want to pursue, or be like, maybe I want to go a different direction.
All right, that's great. Now, when it comes to the interview process, let's say if their application gets preliminary accepted and they're asked to do an interview, what are some advice tips that either of you could speak on for that?
Yeah, so for our process, when for we actually don't have, or we haven't done a formal interview in the past. We've actually gone from application to student visits. And so
Yeah.
those visits can be either virtual or in person, depending on logistics and locations. But I do encourage students to look at the department that you're considering, and ask questions about what you're interested in. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yes, I'm biased and I love UK and I want students to come to UK, but more than that, we want students to find what is going to be the best fit for them, because that's what will ultimately make you successful. And so knowing about the department you're applying to, if they're interviewing you, being familiar with what you can be from their website and their materials is great. For our visits, we really want to know what students want to know. So whether that's, is there a rock climbing community in Lexington versus how, do your students study together in their offices? We have shared offices in our department. Anything like that, we really want to answer their questions. Derek, what do you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there that, we have, that's the way that it's set up, where it's like we go right to the student visits there. And we want them to really just get a sense about, hey, when they come here, this is where they want to come to. And we think the big selling point has always been our existing graduate students, because they're very much just like one big family. They like to talk a lot. They like to talk with each other a lot. And it's just, I think, been such a really good recruiting tool once those students who come to visit actually get to interact with those who are here. So that's that's kind of like in a nutshell the way that it goes once we get to that point in the process.
All right. I'm still not seeing any other questions.
Right.
I guess you guys are shy. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you so much, you both. And we really appreciate having you here with us today. So I'm going to go into the next speaker. So from the University of Pittsburgh Department of Statistics, I'm actually not entirely sure who is presenting.
I'm
You are
presenting,
Kahoot.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, Miss Chen, feel free to go ahead.
Should I just share my slides?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So I guess my presentation will be relatively short. I'm happy to answer any questions along the presentation or after the presentation. I'm a professor in the Department of Statistics at University of Pittsburgh, and I'm also the Director of Graduate Studies. Today, we also have our department chair and our master's students advisor. Feel free to ask. So about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is in Western Pennsylvania, is constantly ranked as one of the most livable cities in the US. I guess that also kind of implies the relatively low living cost. And also,
Okay, so sorry, just gonna chime in here. I don't think we can actually see your slides progress. And could you make it full screen?
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's okay. It might be a different monitor, I'm not sure.
It's not showing?
Oh, it is now. Okay. But if you could make it presenter,
Okay.
uh,
That
there should be a bottom button down there with the slide script show screen.
let me
It's
try that. Sharing. Sorry, I don't use PPT very often.
that's okay.
I
When you
usually use like the PDF.
when you
So,
share the
yeah.
screen, at the bottom there should be a slideshow button.
A slideshow button.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's next to the thing that looks like a book. Yep. No, the other one.
Not this one
Well, that one actually works.
works, or maybe this one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
Okay, great.
works now. Okay, thank you very much.
Sure thing. Yes, now we can see it
Okay.
just fine. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Pittsburgh is a culturally vibrant city. So we have many museums, theaters. These are all museums are free to students. Theaters, of course, it's not free, but they are very, very enjoyable. And then there are 3 major league sports teams, like football and baseball and hockey. So students can enjoy these. And many city parks managed by the Nature Conservancy. I think a lot of our students visit these parks like during their free time and for exercise and so on. Pittsburgh is also home to many colleges and universities and also research facilities. Is it moving, the slides?
Yes, it is moving.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. So Pitt is also a large research university. In fall 2023, it has 6,656 graduate students and like 2,612 at the doctoral level. In 2023, Pitt also received many 675 million research funds from NIH. It's ranked at the 3rd highest recipient of this research funding. The campus of Pitt and the Carnegie Mellon University are in walking distance. So the 2 universities also have cross-registration agreement. Our students take their courses for free and they do the same thing. And then the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, UPMC, provides top-rated healthcare to our students, faculty members, and also a lot of research opportunities. Our department also have a lot of collaboration with this medical school. Our department is in the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. So we are a relatively young department founded in 1997. We currently have 14 full-time faculty members, around 30 PhD students, and 6 master's students. Since we are a relatively small department, all of our students do receive very close attention. And we are hiring 2 more faculty members this coming year. So we offer some traditional courses and also some modernized, newly added courses. We offer intro level, intermediate level, advanced level probability courses, and mathematical statistics courses. So these are advanced probability and mathematical statistics are required for all PhD students. Intermediate level probability and mathematical statistics courses are required for all master's students. And then we also offer a sequence of applied statistics courses in various topics, including regression and everything related to regression, and then multivariate analysis, high-dimensional data analysis, time series, survival data, non-parametric data analysis, and some newly added Bayesian statistics course, statistical sampling, and statistical computing courses. So these courses are not all required, but elective courses, so students can choose based on their own interest and their specialized area or research. And we also in recent years, over the years, we developed a sequence of data science and statistical learning courses, including the intro level, the principles of data science, and intermediate level statistical learning. And also, sorry, did I just press? Intro level statistical learning and intermediate level statistical learning, and also advanced level data mining courses. So we don't really have a particular degree in data science, but for our PhD students in statistics and in applied statistics, like master's students, they all enjoy taking these courses to, in addition to more traditional like applied statistics and probability courses. So we also have a supervised statistical consulting center. The center serves the University of Pittsburgh research community. We have also a related supervised statistical consulting course. So basically our students take this course and then they work in the statistical consulting center. Students learn by engaging in consulting with clients from all over the campus, from many different departments, areas, including like even music department and some program or the staff members in provost office and so on. So they really enjoy the work there and they feel like they do really have impact in all different fields. And then consulting projects also lead to publications, GSR opportunities, and long-term collaborations. So our faculty members are also relatively young, but they have all very active research areas, including high-dimensional statistical inference, functional data analysis, network data analysis, non-parametric estimation and inference, and statistical and machine learning methods, causal inference, survival data analysis, Bayesian statistics, just to, I couldn't exclusively list everything. So our faculty members have various collaboration with members within PIT and outside of PIT. So these collaborative research are in different fields, but we do have a lot of collaboration in computational neuroscience, genomics and genetics, and also optimal treatment strategies, personalized medicine, various research in different mental health issues, different disease, specialized in different disease, and so on. This is also particularly with those collaborators from UPMC, from the medical school. And also some of our faculty members are interested in forensic science, law and jury perceptions, and so on. So I guess I forgot to mention one thing here is also like also one of our faculty's expertise, and a lot of students are interested in that. So now let me talk about some details about our programs. We have a PhD program in statistics and also master's program in statistics and applied statistics. So for PhD in statistics, all students receive a full scholarship package. It could be in teaching assistantship, research assistantship, or other fellowships. It includes tuition remission, competitive salaries, and also a health insurance package. The milestones for our PhD students, first year, they mainly take required courses so we just try to lay a solid foundation for their later research. And then they're gonna take the qualifying exam at the end of the first year. It's in summer. Once they pass the exam, they will find the individual supervisor to work on their research problems. The comprehensive exam and also thesis proposal usually will be at the end, end of the third year or during the fourth year. So after that, they're gonna finish their thesis research, have their thesis defense, usually at the end of fifth year. So the average length of our program, PhD program, is 5 years. I would say not average, almost all of them, some a little, maybe a little shorter. Career outcomes for our PhD students, it's just really always very good. So they are all very happy to go on to their next job. So career outcomes for our PhD students in the year 23, we have 5 students graduated in that year. I list all of them here. One is a senior statistician at Johnson & Johnson, another senior biostatistician at Vertex Pharmaceuticals, and then also senior quantitative analytics at Freddie Mac, postdoc at Emory University, assistant professor at Central South University, China. So this is the data for 23. We also have 3 other students graduate after I list this data. One is currently a postdoc at Emory University, another at a Meta company, and then the third one at the Merck pharmaceutical company. So based on the data since 2010, we try to summarize the areas they go on. About 27 of our PhD students go on to academia jobs, like usually professors, assistant professors in other universities. And also about 21% they go to the pharmaceutical research company, these big companies, as a statistician or biostatistician. Since our department, we are a statistics department, but we do have a lot of the biostatistics related research. So they also do internships and find jobs in pharmaceutical company. And then another about 40% of students, they are data scientists and data analysts in different IT companies, insurance, finance company, and health and medicine. So about 8% go to government, such as FDA. And our master's program in applied statistics is a self-funded program. This is mainly for students who are interested in professional career in industry, government, or research labs. Or we have students from we have PhD students from other disciplines who want to acquire some more statistical skills. So in this program, we require 10 courses, 30 credits. There's no thesis requirement. We basically just try to teach students different statistical methods and the software, so prepare them well for their career in industry and other research labs. The typical course of study is fall, spring, and fall, 3 semesters. So completion in 1 year is also possible if they take courses in summer. And another master program in statistics, this is intended mainly for students who want to pursue a PhD in statistics or related fields after they complete this master degree. We give students broad range of we acquaint them with broad range of statistical models, methods, software packages, and we also lay a firm background in probability and statistical theory. So there are basically 2 tracks. One is only course-based. You can take 10 courses with total 30 credits. Another, you can do a thesis option during we don't directly admit students into the thesis option track, but if they later intended to do a thesis, they work with a faculty member, they can transfer to the thesis option. And that's several of our past students, they choose to go this route. So a little bit about the admission. We review academic records as well as broader qualities. So the requirements are, I think they are very standard, just the transcript, CV, statement, or 3 letters of recommendation. GRE score is optional, and for international students, of course, another in English test score is required. So the best letters of recommendation we think should provide first-hand insights into qualities relevant to advanced degrees, such as intellectual ability, academic background, scientific and statistical insight, research skills, communication, and also some other quality, I think, very important for PhD study, other than just the academic preparation, like organization, perseverance, and resilience, and also like the way to handle stress and so on. So diversity are central to our mission of educational and scholarly excellence. If you if you would like to include some of your background or experience in your personal statement, we will be very you are welcome to include this, and this will be part of the application package. We value that a lot. If you would like to know some of the more details about admission requirements and so on, please follow our website and the Q&A page. Also, please feel free to email us, email me directly or our graduate administrator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kehui Chen. So I'm not seeing any questions come up. Oh wait, no, there is one. Is this program different from MS in biostatistics? What are your thoughts?
In biostatistics, so we have a University of Pittsburgh have a separate biostatistics department under public health. So we are two separate departments, and I believe the MS in biostatistics is in the biostatistics department, so it's different. We do, yeah, but we do have very close collaboration with biostat department as well. We kind of we are very close. Similar research and faculty members collaborate, and some of the students, they also have the co-advisors from both departments.
Yeah, maybe in terms of the curriculum, I wonder if you could share like some of the things that might vary in terms of what you would learn for statistics versus biostatistics.
Since our students, they also actually take elective courses from biostatistics department. I do know some of their course offerings. So like they have the causal inference in particular, and like longitudinal data analysis, missing data analysis, this kind of in like more detailed methods for handling the data. And we offer more in like methodological things like how do you handle high dimensional data, and how do you handle like the non-parametric modeling, parametric modeling, and so on. So we do kind of compensate each other. Their students take our courses, and our students, if they're interested in missing data, I always say, okay, go to biostat and take a course. And they also, students, they are also very interested in like some machine learning courses and like even AI courses and so on. So I usually advise them to take a course from CMU. So they do find all these, they find this kind of flexibility very helpful.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that. And then there was also another question, is the master's students receiving funding through RA or TA?
Master students. So our master students, they don't do TA. TA-ship is only for PhD students. They can get a research assistantship if they work with some of the faculty members, and it's paid by the faculty's grant.
Right, pretty great. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to go on to the next speaker now. So that is from the Methodist University, from the Department of Statistics and Data Science. Now, I believe it's going to be a tag team thing here. So we have Daniel Haychen And then Jonathan Thompson and Stefan Robinson with us today. So feel free to share your screen. And I think, Kohi, I think you need to end your share. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, great. I'll start off. So I'm Daniel Heitchen. I'm chair of the Department of Statistics and Data Science here at Southern Methodist University. I'm also a professor in the School of Public Health at the UT Southwestern Medical Center, which is about 5 miles over that way. We are in Dallas, Texas, which is the great metropolis of North Texas, the fourth largest metropolitan area in the country, and soon to be third, they tell me. We're going to bypass Chicago. So sorry, Chicago. The view you see on the screen is a drone's eye view of our signature building, Dallas Hall, looking down toward downtown Dallas. Southern Methodist University is a private research university. We're currently classified as an R2 university, but the expectation is we'll be R1 at the next reckoning of those figures. We have a law school, we have a business school, we have engineering, education, we have a conservatory, and we have a seminary. And we have something called a guild hall where people do video game design. So we're a reasonably comprehensive university. And together with our partners at UT Southwestern, we also encompass quite a bit of biomedical research. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about the department. So we are a reasonably old department, founded in 1961. We have 5 graduate programs, so I won't we're going to take you through all those as we go through this presentation. Right now, we have 13 full-time faculty members, and here are some of our research interests: causal, clinical trials, et cetera. I left out a couple. Survival analysis occurred to me after I wrote this, and spatial statistics. We have a pretty broad range of research interests. And then we also have some students who work with faculty at UT Southwestern, where the interests over there would be perhaps more contemporary biomedical data science. We are in expansion mode at the moment. We have 4 faculty searches ongoing this year, so going to get a bit larger soon. What I'm going to do now is turn you over to my colleague, Professor Steve Robertson, who's going to tell you about our Master of Science in Data Science and Applied Statistics program. So Steve, go for it.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Heitchen, and thank you all for joining us today. I know it's the lunch hour for some, or early afternoon, late morning for others. So yes, this is the Master of Data Science and Applied Stats, the in-person program. So there'll be 2. So you'll hear about the online program right after this. But our fully in-person program, of course, is held here on the Dallas campus. And this program is a 36-hour program. So that's 12 classes. Students usually complete it, the full-time students usually complete it in 3 semesters or 4, depending on how fast they want to go. We also allow part-time students as well. So some students get a job, and then after they get the okay from their employer, take classes part-time with us. And so we're totally on board with that. The focus of the program is very applied in nature. Most of our students go on into business and industry, and I'll name some of those types here in a minute, but I don't want to neglect the fact that some do go into academia. So there has not been a graduating class in a long time where at least one student hasn't gone on to a PhD program. Most go to ours, but some have gone to others as well. So we're happy about that as well. As far as scholarships, this is a fully funded program, so a student-funded program. So they must pay their own way, except we do help where we can. So we do let students be a TA or a grader, and those do pay modestly. It's not like a full tuition thing or anything like that, but it's an hourly job. So we do help out there. And then also we spend a lot of time with employers and getting to know employers. And the reason we do that is because we like to assist students with finding jobs and internships. So that's something that we do take pride in and spend a lot of time in that area to help the students out. Speaking of jobs, we have a 95% job placement rate. We say 95%. I think it's 100, but we lose track of some who may go back to maybe they're an international student. I've lost track of some of those, but very, very high. And one of the nice things about the Dallas-Fort Worth area is it's a booming business place. Lots of company headquarters are in the Dallas area, and that's a big advantage. I think it's a compliment to SMU and the just the area of Dallas that a number of students move here from all over the country and all over the world. And when I ask them, well, where would you like to work? A number of them say, I want to stay in Dallas. So that's really a nice compliment to the area. And part of it is because of the great economy, the number of job opportunities that exist. Some of those places are areas are finance, marketing, risk management, medicine, law, education. So some of I'll name a few of the companies. Southwest Airlines and American Airlines have headquarters here. And so we've got several students from the program who work there. Many banks, Capital One, Citigroup, GM Financial, Wells Fargo, a number of students are there. So lots of good opportunities here for job possibilities. The entrance requirements for the program. We take students from all sorts of majors. If it's quantitative, math and stats are obviously very popular ones. Computer science is also very strong. Engineering. So anyone who has taken multivariable calculus and linear algebra is always a really good fit. Competitive GPA, of course, good strong letters, a recommendation. Those are the requirements to get in. Our admissions we say February 15th is when we would prefer that you would apply, but that's not written in ink. So we have rolling admissions, and so we consider applications all the way into June and July each year, and we pick up several students per summer. So don't let the February 15th deadline scare you. That's when we would prefer it, but we'd be happy to talk to you long after that. And speaking of talk to you, if you would love to come to the Dallas area, we'd love to show you our beautiful campus. I know that a couple of years ago, we were ranked the number 3 prettiest campus in the country. So we're very proud of that. Come in the fall or the spring, even in winter, it's decently warm here in the winter. Summertime's a little rough, we'll admit, but we don't have classes in the summertime, so we would let you go where you want to go in the summertime and come back to school in the fall when it starts to get cool again. But if you'd like to come visit us, we would love to meet you and give you a campus visit and a department visit. And that's all I've got for the in-person Masters of Data Science and Applied Stats program.
Thank you, Dr. Robertson. Now I'm going to introduce my colleague, Bivin Sadler. Now it says the little name tag on his screen there on your his little image on your screen says Jonathan Thompson, but I happen to know it's actually Bivin Sadler. So Bivin, take us into the MSDS program, please.
Known by many names. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Actually, Jonathan Thompson is our assistant director. So we're very proud of all our programs. Thanks, Dr. Robertson and Dr. Heichen. My name is Bivin Sadler, and I'm the director and lead faculty in the MSDS program, the Masters of Science in Data Science program. And I'm anxious to tell you all about it. Before I get there, I would like to congratulate you and applaud you on coming to this webinar. Thanks to the NISS for throwing it. I'm really excited for you to be this interested in looking at grad school. It's a ton of fun. It's a great exploration of what your mind can do, and there's a lot of really important problems out there to solve. So I'm just really excited that you're here and that we get to talk about it, kind of like-minded people all talking together. So our particular program, ours is in contrast to Dr. Robertson's program, master's program that's fully on campus. Ours is fully online. All the classes are fully online. And that is, but twice at the beginning in the first semester and at the end semester, students come to campus, and it's called the Immersion. And it's this amazing event. So I'll tell you all about classes here in a second, but The idea is students about through Unit 11, we're async. So it's about an hour and a half of asynchronous video content where you're learning material, then you're applying material, then come to an hour and a half Zoom live session that's by the professor is there. The professor is leading the class. You get to interact. We have office hours. It's just like you would do on campus. And that's what each class is. But around Unit 11, you come to Dallas, and people from all over the nation come to Dallas, and they see the capstone event. So the last semester students and the first semester students come and have this amazing immersion event. But you've gotten to know these people over time, all your cohort in your classes. So everyone's like a rock star. They're like, you're like really in person. You're, like it's you, but you kind of already know them mentally, but you get to see them physically. So it's a really fun event. It's actually coming up in 2 weeks here. We have 2 of those annually. So that's kind of how the course is delivered. It's ideal for people that are working. So we have traditional students that are coming right out of grad school. We've got a lot of that are full-time students. We've got students that are coming out of undergrad. We've got students that get jobs right out of undergrad, but then want to pursue a master's degree. This is ideal for them. The classes are in the evenings from 6:30 to 10 Central Time. And as you can see here, it's about 33.5 credits. You can usually complete it. Most people complete it in about 5, 6, or 7 terms. And what is the focus? Our focus, I think one of the big advantages of our program is we've got a lot of experience in our cohorts. Our average age is, from our minimum age is 23. We've got students all the way up into 60s. Average age is 37. About 87% have full-time jobs. That being said, there's a lot of people that are looking to get jobs right out of grad school. We'll talk about kind of placement here in a second. But I always think one of the great things about grad school is the people that you meet, the cohort that you meet, the experiences that you have while you're there. You'll get job leads from people that are in your cohort. So we've got journalists, we've got C-suite people that are learning, that are not going to actually do data science, but are learning how to manage their team. We've got data scientists. We've got, we have the CISO for Cloudflare. So we've got a security specialist. Anything you can think of has come through our program in the last 10 years, started in 2014. And as you can see here, we've got 700 alumni in the program now. So we have a really strong, active alumni. As you can see, AT&T, Amazon, Raytheon, Deloitte, Capital One, JP Morgan do a lot with PepsiCo. We're doing a lot now with Toyota. Toyota's coming to our immersion. Texas Instruments, just down the road, is also coming to our immersion this time around. We've got just a wealth of connections in industry in Dallas and beyond. So that's a ton of fun. We did in the curriculum that I'd like to talk about before we hit the events. In our curriculum, we've just updated it, talking about retrieval augmented generation, RAG programming. That's a lot of what they're doing at AT&T. We actually have internship program with AT&T, multiple agent retrieval RAG programming. We've updated with deep learning. We've got statistics courses. We're heavy in statistics, machine learning, NLP, natural language processing. We're very strong in that. We've got a time series course, what you would think of in the traditional data science program, but has been updated to obviously reflect generative AI and the updates, continuing updates in neural networks and advanced technologies. Our faculty, we're very proud of our faculty. Everyone has PhDs, and they're all practicing data scientists. So we've had some students go on to get PhDs, to go on, but certainly most of them go into industry, and it's a really big tool to some of our adjuncts have actually hired our students. So you get a real kind of feel for what's actually going on in the field from our professors who actually, who also have PhDs in statistics and data science. We also have events. We're trying to keep all of our alumni up to date. And one of the premier events that we're throwing is the speaker series. We have the MSDS speaker series. If you follow this link, I think you should have access also to this whole deck. If you'd like to download this deck, I think we can make it available to the NISS. or you can just copy and paste this link down. But this will take you to our first speaker. We've got 4 speakers this series. Our first one is Dr. Larson. He's going to talk about advances in deep learning and how to organize data to be optimal inside of deep learning algorithms. So check that one out. And then my name is, again, Bivin Sadler. I'm the director. Please email me with any questions. We can hop a Zoom call and talk about it. Program info, as you can see, is the link there. But to end, I'm super excited about again, about your journey and that you're interested in taking it. Because again, there's a lot of important problems to solve out there, and it's a lot of fun to kind of sink your teeth into them. So thanks for the time.
Thanks, Bivin. Just have a couple minutes left. I want to cover our PhD programs. We have 3 of those. I'll cover those quickly. I'll do them in alphabetical order. There's a biostatistics PhD program. And the way this works is the students take their first 2 years, the basic core courses and that sort of thing here at SMU. In the summers, they go over to UT Southwestern, work on a project there. And then when they've completed their 2 years of kind of basic training here at SMU, they'll finish the rest of their program doing a research assistantship at UT Southwestern. And the dissertation would be together, would be jointly sponsored by UT Southwestern professor and a professor here at SMU. Graduates from that program have gone on to medical research institutions as faculty, to pharma companies, to government. We have a former student working at the FDA. It's a relatively new program. We've only been in business about 10 years, but we've been quite successful, and I direct that program. So if you have questions specifically about that, you can address them to me. Our newest program is the PhD in data science. We just admitted the first cohort this year, and the structure of that program is going to be somewhat like the biostatistics program. That is, there's a core training, although the core training is partly here in statistics and partly in the CS and the engineering school. So it's going to be a little different kind of basic training. And then they'll do, again, it'll be very project focused. You'll be supported by a principal investigator working on some project. The idea is to get really immersed in that science and get immersed in that. So Charles South, who's one of our professors, couldn't be here today, but you could contact him or contact me if you have questions about that program. Then we have our traditional PhD in statistics, or statistical science, I guess it is. So that's a lot like some of the other programs you've been hearing about today, 4 to 5 years. Has a bit more of an academic focus. Some of the faculty from that, some of the graduates from that program would go into tenure track jobs at universities and teaching jobs. Many go into banks. Some go into biotech and that sort of thing, or tech companies, Google, those types of companies. So it's what passes for a traditional statistics program these days. All of our programs, you would get support for at least during the academic year. The biostat and the data science would provide year-round support. That is a year-round stipend, and health insurance is covered. Students in the statistics program might do teaching assistantships or internships during the summers, or later in their career, they might do actual teaching, or they might do a research assistantship. And if you have questions about the statistical science PhD, you can contact Professor Jing Chao, jcao@smu.edu. And then there are URLs here. So here, let me just repeat the contact information for the different programs in the department link. Thanks again for letting us share information about our program here, and thank you all for attending.
Okay. Thank you very much, the 3 of you. And sorry, Bivin, that I got your name wrong. So are there any last minute questions from our audience? Please feel free to drop them in there. I was really excited to hear about the data science PhD program that you have. You said it was new. How long has it been running for?
We enrolled the first cohort in August, so it is
Okay.
that new.
All right. Great. And
So I
so,
can't give you a lot of like long-term results, what our alumni are doing and so on, because they're
yeah,
still here.
Sample size is still small.
Yeah.
right. Okay. So do you want to share a little bit more details in terms of like what are the courses that you could take? You said it was very project focused. But is it, I know that you said that there were statistical core concepts that are in there already, but what are the key differences in terms of the curriculum?
The core material for the statistics and biostatistics programs is probability and math stat, applied statistics, regression, computing, and then the electives would reflect whatever, there are some biostatistical electives, that the biostat students would be required to take that this stat students would take and so on. The data science program is a little bit different. So they're going to get some of the core material in statistics, but they're also getting some of the core material from computer science. So machine learning, AI, that type of thing. And some, computing, actual computing, the theory of computers, that sort of thing. So, and then the idea is they would, at the end of their first year, then the summer, they would go work on a data science project in an area, in some application area. So it might be psychology, it might be computational chemistry, it might be somebody in a marketing application, it might be something in engineering, might be something more traditionally statistics too. But they'll do that at the end of, at the end of in the summer after their first year, then they'll go back and do another one, a rotation type project at the end of their second year. And then after that, they would commit to a project. So the idea would be, if you want to work on, say, a project in psychology, to be really immersed in that. So you'd take some courses in psychology and you'd become a real like psychology investigator. That's really where we distinguish the data science from the statistics PhD.
All right,
That's the
great.
plan. I mean, it has a lot of these are, you know, I mean, we kind of progress a little ways with the program, and then we find, oh well, that wasn't so well planned. We have to change something. So a lot of this is, come ask us again in 3 years, and we'll have a better answer. But so far, it's been quite exciting.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you in that program. So there was one question that did come up just now. How much to spend a year for PhD students? I think this is referred to the funding for PhD students. Was that?
Well, what the stipend is?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see, it's 2,500 a month. So so during the academic year it would be 25,000. And if you had a full year support, it'd be 30. That's where we are right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're a little over time. I tried to not do that, but oh well. So thank you all to all of our amazing presenters. We really appreciate that you were able to present today. Um, I will say that NIS is holding 2 more of these in the following week. So on October 18th, we are going to hear from Penn State University Department of Statistics, Duke University Department of Statistics, Emory University Department of Biostatistics, George Washington University Department of Statistics, North Carolina State University Statistics, University of Georgia for biostatistics. So that will be on the 18th. And then the week after that, on the 25th of October, that will be Florida State University Department of Statistics, Ohio State University Departments of Statistics and Biostatistics, and Georgetown University Department of Biostatistics. And then we also are going to have University of California, Riverside statistics as well. So I'll get that on the website soon. So thank you all again. Today we heard from George Mason University Department of Statistics, UPenn Medicine, Biostatistics, Johns Hopkins University Biostatistics, and University of Kentucky Department of Statistics, University of Pittsburgh Department of Statistics, and Southern Methodist University Department of Statistics and also Data Science. So thank you all so much. We really appreciate you having you here today. So with that, I'm going to close this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.